Hey everybody, Rob from robthetrainer.com and Fitness Together in the North End. I wanted to take a second just to talk about something that I've been seeing on social media a lot lately. And it's this sort of weird, disturbing trend of fitness professionals. And this is over like the last 6 to 12 months or so, but of fitness professionals and or fitness celebrities or whatever we want to call them. Fat shaming people, and they do this under the guise of it being a tough love video or a motivational video. A couple of the ones that come to the top of my head are that comedian Nicole Arbor, or the drill sergeant, personal trainer John Burke. And again, do yourselves a favor, if you haven't seen these videos, don't. They're not worth your time. They're certainly not worth giving them the clicks, to YouTube or whatever it is. But essentially, it's people ranting and raving about making fun of people who are overweight, or calling them disgusting and repulsive and so on and so forth. And that's just bullshit. Let's be honest, right? That's not tough love, and it's certainly not motivational. Tough love. That phrase implies that there's actually love there, and if you don't know anybody, you have zero rapport, and you're just talking at a camera the whole time, without your audience feeling like you actually care about them. What's the difference between that and just hate speech if you're tearing into them, right? And for no reason at all, calling them disgusting and repulsive, etc. What I've always found for me that's worked to help people, and what I think tough love really is a combination of a couple things: of honesty, of accountability, and empathy. And empathy is the big part, and I think a lot of times people miss that one, and they think that if you're being empathetic, that you're accepting somebody being overweight. And look, first of all, it's not my job to judge, accept, not accept somebody who the hell do I think I am, right? My only job in this profession is to help somebody, is to help them achieve their goals, and do that in the way that I know how to do that best. Outside of that, I don't have any place in judgment. That's not my spot. So how do I go about helping somebody, when they come to me who's overweight, and how do I actually help them, achieve these whatever goals are that they set for themselves? And I think a big part of that is motivation. And motivation and inspiration are two very different things. Inspiration is something that comes from an outside source that I've found has always been sort of something temporary. Good example of that would be you're watching your favorite Rocky, movie. Rocky IV was the best, of course, everybody. And in the middle of the training montage, you get inspired to do, and see the word inspired, do a bunch of push-ups. That came from an outside source. It's something that, kind of got you fired up, but three days later, you don't go around thinking, oh man, that Rocky scene, I better go do some push-ups immediately. No, that's a little different. Now, inspiration can lead to motivation, sure, but motivation is something, like I said, that comes from within. I'll use that sort of overused metaphor of that fire being stoked within, but that's sort of what it is, right? Motivation is this thing that you need to feed, and it needs momentum, and it builds off that momentum. Anytime you have a small task and you achieve it, you kind of want to go out and start and knock out the next thing, and then the next thing, and the next thing. And so that's no different with clients when they come to you for weight loss help, or or any real goal. But again, we're talking specifically about people who are overweight and obese here. They almost always come in with a bunch of different baggage on top of, the fact that they want to lose weight. They also usually feel kind of guilty and shameful. A lot of times because they've been told, from so many sources in their life that, the way they look is not acceptable, who they are is not acceptable, and it's sort of tied in this self-worth versus body image issue. It's sort of intertwined, and so what we need to do is help help them find that motivation to start and begin that get that inertia going, and begin moving along here this path towards whatever those goals are that they set for themselves. if we can come up with a plan for them to achieve small tasks that there is no doubt in their mind that they can do, then they can build off of those little tiny victories, which will then lead them down the path to greater success. It's sort of a journey of self-discovery, fitness, and the further you go down it, the more you realize you can do. But when you're starting at the beginning, it can be a low point for a lot of people. And it takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of support too. And as a coach, your job is to do exactly that: is to support them and to help them. It's not to get in their face and scream at them, and it's not to tell them that they screwed up when they screwed up, and then leave it at that. If somebody messes up, you can let them know they messed up, but then you have to help them figure out what the solution is to that. You don't just leave it at that. Otherwise, you're not doing anything to help them at all. So sorry, I know that was a little long and it was kind of ranty. I was trying to collect my thoughts on a lot of that. But I kind of wanted to take a stand one way or the other and tell everybody where I'm coming from as a coach, and that not all coaches are those scream at you, make you feel terrible about yourself people, but that we actually care. At least the good ones do, and I like to think of myself as a pretty good coach. Thanks for watching the video.